Need to intro you. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the WA Running Podcast, recording on Monday, the 4th of May, 2026. In local results, we had the Soul Runners Swan River Half, the inaugural Ultra Series OMFG Training and Running Festival, and the inaugural WAMC Rockingham Classic. We have Astrid and an 11-year-old featuring this week's Weapons of Warp to cover later this episode. Across my screen is someone who I would say has a pace IQ of 100 and a race IQ of 20. Chris, the metronome Shaw, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. Yeah, a couple of wrong turns on the weekend. Leaves me feeling pretty bitter about the results, but, you know, life goes on.
Yep. Is that user error or something to do with the event organising of the marathon club?
I'll say 50-50 there. I think one was my fault. I shouldn't have followed the people in front of me. I should have used my better judgment. And the second one, I was directed in the wrong direction. So, yeah.
We'll hear a bit of your race recap later this episode. We don't have Vici tonight. So across the other side of my screen is someone who's an endurance runner and coach originally out of the UK, where he competed for the Herdsman Harriers. He's got a 2:26 marathon PB to his name and now firmly embedded on the WA running scene. He's seen frequently competing in ultra and trail events around the country, including a win at the Margaret River Ultra back in 2024 and fourth place at last year's Transcend. He's previously a key member of the front runner crew, but has recently founded his own training group called the Herdsman Harriers, with arguably one of the best looking singlets in the state. Josh Tighe, welcome to the WA Running Podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I didn't want to end up like the guest who no-showed last week, so
no,
had to make sure I've turned up.
Thank you for showing up. I mean, I will add that you were 3 minutes late, but that's okay. At least you showed up. All right, well, let's get straight into your running origin story. So tell us about how did you get into running and how has that progressed over time?
So I got into running. So I was, at the time, I was boxing. So I was like 19, 20 years old. I used to do a bit of fitness. I used to run up to my cousin's house, just like used to run up there, have a drink and then run back home. They was always telling me, oh yeah, you should get running. And I was like, no, I don't really like it. And I ended up breaking my arm and then I didn't really have a choice. So I went to, like my local running club, started training there, and then I did a fell race, which is like running up hills over the moors, and sort of got addicted ever since then.
Wow. And so late. So you started running 19. So how has that progressed? Like, how has your running progressed since, you know, running locally and then competing in races?
So like I said, I started then for like my local club, Rosendale Harriers. That was 2007, so I was 19, and then I don't know. To me, it was kind of good because it's the first sport I've ever done that I wasn't really good at. Not that I was amazing at every other sport, but it was kind of like, for me, I've always been naturally good at sport. So going into like a race and getting beat off loads of people almost made it a bit more appealing. So I was probably. So I sort of started running and I actually stopped. So I started for a year and then I came travelling to Australia and sort of lived the backpacker lifestyle, started going out drinking, put loads of weight on, stopped running. And when I did try and run, it was like 40 degrees. Obviously that didn't end well. So yeah, had a year off and then I was travelling. I think I drove from like Perth to Broome. I was just tired from the UK. I was like, oh, you should come and do Mount Kinabalu in Malaysia. So I was like, go on then. I wasn't running, and then I had like 2 or 3 months to train for it. So then, I went over to Malaysia to do this race. I don't know have you heard of Mount Kinabalu?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just a race up and down that, which is pretty brutal. I went there, and then there were a few people I've never met before, like the friends now, like Ricky Lightfoot. He's world trail champion, I think, over 50k.
Wow.
So yeah, I'd gone there and everyone was like a GB or an England international, so it was kind of like inspirational. So that really got me back into running. And then when I came back to the UK after travelling, I'd pretty much got my eyes set on just getting an international vest. So yeah, I focused back into my running again. So then yeah, I had another like year of, or probably about 8 months of training under my belt, and then I managed to get like my first England vest on the mountains, and I got picked to race in Slovenia. So that was like my first taste of like international race. So yeah, just going and competing against some of the world's best. So and then yeah, I guess after that, yeah, I've always sort of been progressing through different distances.
Yeah. So you actually started on the trail.
Yes, I did. Yeah, because yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
yeah,
So
like, the first race I did was a fell race. So like, obviously, I think a lot. Do you know what a fell race is?
I think Vici has done a couple of fell races, right, while she was over there recently.
Yeah, so a fell is essentially a hill. Like you know, if you English countryside, you get a big hill. So that's what it is. It's just like running over boggy terrain. Yeah, I started sort of fell running, and then so yeah, I've never specifically like I've done every surface, and then that I found I was better at trail and mountain, and then everything I did just worked towards that.
Yeah, right. So how did track come into it then for you?
Yeah, well, track was always something that I'd compete for, like my club. So we'd do like you sort of like, I don't think you do it over here, like a track league. So you like we did like the Northern Track League, which obviously is the equivalent of your state. So you do, like various events there, and for me as well, track running was always good to do just for my leg speed, because I know for if you wanted to make any of like the mountain teams, you had to be pretty quick essentially. So yeah, it was always like kind of, yeah, you go there and you've got some like 16-year-old who's running like 8 minutes for 3K, so it's like, you know, someone to humble you. So yeah, I just use that as a purpose for my like mountain and trail running.
Yeah, wonderful. Then so you do a bit of track to get that leg speed, and then obviously the focus is on, you know, trail running.
Yes,
more or less. When, like, how did the marathon come into it in terms of your periphery and focus?
Yeah, so the marathon, I guess. See, this is the thing. Like, one thing I've noticed, especially through coaching now, that everyone seems to just want to do a marathon.
Yeah.
I had no interest. I sort of got into running, and you know, I mean, I found a 5K hard, so like, I didn't think like, oh, I want to do a marathon. So whenever I did like Mount Kinnabaloo, like these long ultra races, I seem to do quite well at them. So like over the long races, I was probably better than people who were quicker than me. So yeah, I think it was 2015. I was speaking to my coach, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I might want to do a marathon next year. So we changed my training a little bit. I'd start doing like, you know, like upping my long runs just to sort of see if my body could handle it. And then yeah, for Christmas he got, I don't know if you've heard of this book, but it's called British Marathon Running Legends of the 80s. So essentially it's just he knew the woman who wrote the book, and it's just she interviews all like the top 80s marathon runners, and yeah, you sort of read that, and it's dangerous because like you can't really that fit, because you read it and you just want to go out and run like 160k and do everything. So like, yeah, you have to be careful when you read it. But yeah, I got that. I think he gave it me as a Christmas present, and then I'd already sort of like locked in Manchester Marathon for the following year. So then, yeah, that was 2016. That was my first one, and that's when I actually ran my PB. So yeah, so it was 2:26 debut, which
And you hated it to not want to do it? Like, you didn't catch the marathon bug and just run marathons after that?
No, I sort of did, but then I broke my ankle. I had an injury.
Right.
Getting like plates and screws in my ankle, so it almost changed a lot with my running. So I did 2:26 on my debut, and it was probably a bit of a lofty ambition, but I try and make the England team for Commonwealth Games at Gold Coast.
Yeah, right.
And I broke my ankle. I've got like plates and screws, and then yeah, pretty much spent like a year out of running. And yeah, I've obviously got back into it again.
Great.
Yeah, cool. So, like, you mentioned the track leagues and things like that over in the UK.
Yes.
And obviously over here it's very different. Like when you came to Australia, like how did you settled here permanently? Like how have you found that transition between the UK running scene and here in WA specifically?
It's definitely different. Obviously, there's a lot more choice in the UK. Obviously, it's a smaller place, so it's a bit easier to sort of travel around and stuff. But it's a lot more seasonal with the running, so that's why everything differs. So, like, you're looking from November through to March, you'll be cross country. So you have like the odd road race that people targets, but like primarily you're sort of like doing your aiming for your national cross, northern or your state, and then from like March through to August, it's like track season. So yeah, it's very like different on that. And I guess in the UK, it's probably a lot more community based with the events. So a lot of your running clubs putting on events for just to raise funds for your club and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I guess here that's predominantly, a couple of clubs, in that the marathon club or, some regional clubs, and then you've got training groups that are effectively participating in those events.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you've kind of started with the trail and then you moved on to the road. I mean, from a mindset shift, I guess, like say doing Mount Kinabalu and then doing Manchester Marathon, like what do you think are the different tools you needed to like tackle those different events, or
I mean, it's kind of different with Mount Kinabalu because I literally just wanted to get through that. That was definitely. I don't know. I've not really done many events where I get on the start line and I wonder if I can complete it. So that was different, but I've certainly found with like the longer trail stuff, depending on like a vest up for grab, a lot more pressure that you put on yourself. But my mindset. So I always say this to people I coach now that like if I had to stand on the start line of a marathon now, I'm a lot more relaxed than a 5K. Like I'd find them a lot more nerve wracking. So because you've not really got a lot of margin for error, have you, in a 5K? I don't know. I almost explain it to people. It's like with a marathon, you sort of put your finger in the water of a kettle and it's slowly boiling. With it's almost boiling straight away. So you're just anticipating that pain. So yeah, I definitely find it a lot more easier doing the longer stuff than the shorter stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, as Simon mentioned at the top, you finished first at Margaret River Ultra in 2024. And then Simon and I both ran legs with you at Transcend last year. Me being leg 1 and Simon leg 2, but I think you torched both of us quite easily. You did the whole thing. I guess what do the ultras teach you about yourself, like personally, whether it's from athletically or mentally, like over say the road running?
Yeah, I think what one good thing is with the ultras that it's definitely taught me a lot on nutrition. I've always been in that mindset of just like getting through runs, not having fuel, and I mean you can see the how everything's changing now. Like everything, obviously you've got the shoes and now nutrition, bicarb and stuff like that. So it's opened my eyes to that. And then I guess it taught me a bit more to be patient. So when I did Margaret River, I got lost quite a few times on the course. There was a time on the course, I think I missed a checkpoint and I had to go back, and I was literally going to drop out. I was just that annoyed at myself, and anyway, I carried on going, and then obviously went on to win the race. So yeah, it's definitely shifted to my mindset, and yeah, it's kind of nice just to do races sometimes, not worry about running at a pace, running at a time. So yeah, it teaches you like how to pace yourself. So because obviously we're all ingrained, aren't we, to do to look at our watch and stick to a certain pace.
Yeah, for sure.
So how what are you training for at the moment? Like, do you have a race coming up, and what does training look like for you preparing for an upcoming race?
So at the minute, I've this is one thing since coming here. I'm not doing nowhere near as many events as I'd normally do. So I guess I think it was Transcend, was it? The last proper race I did, I think, and then I did, and went back not long after that. So just trying to find the motivation, just looking at the race calendar, and there's some good races, but they just don't work out for me time wise. So I found won a mountain race that I'm going to do this coming Saturday in Bright in Victoria. So that's Wandy Cross. So that's
Okay, cool.
26 kilometers, and I think it's like 2,400 meters of elevation. So yeah, I've been trying to get out to the hills and just get a bit of climbing in for the last few weeks. So sort of go back to my natural habitat.
And is that when you train for a race like that, is it really time on feet and vert that's the focus, or is there anything specific, or are there any non-negotiables for you when it comes to training for an event like that?
See, this is the thing. I'm not going to say I've not trained for it, because I have, but I've probably not trained for it how I would normally train. So I think normally, like I said, if I'm doing track and stuff, I'm going into it with like quite good leg speed. So I'll be doing like a lot of hill reps, but then, I've had them, typical old man injuries where you get like a bit of a calf niggle. So yeah, I've had to avoid doing like specific hill sessions. So yeah, normally I'd do a bit more like specificity for it, but yeah, my only training at the minute has just been like a tempo a week, and then just getting out to the hills and just getting time on feet and elevation.
Yeah, nice. So like, I guess you said you haven't done as many events as you might typically do, but I suspect that might be to do with your coaching. Like, how did your coaching journey begin, and like, what is your coaching philosophy, if you have one?
Yeah, so coaching journey. So I'm originally a carpenter by trade. So moved here, permanent residency, 2019. When COVID came, I'd sort of lost my job. I was working on like the Hilton Hotel down at Swan River when it was getting built. But I'd always wanted a career change. I never wanted to sort of be in construction for all my life, just for how like physically demanding it is on your body. So yeah, I started training up as a personal training. At the time, I was at Frontrunner, like training at Frontrunner, and then I think I reached out to, it might have been Ben, who was taking the rec sessions, just to be like, "Oh, do you need any help?" So then I started going down and helping him out at the recreational sessions, like 6 a.m. And I think, to be honest with you, Ben was kind of happy, because like I don't think he's a morning person, so eventually like passed that on to me. So yeah, that's sort of like my journey into like proper coaching. I've sort of like coached people partially in the UK, just advising. But yeah, first time that I've sort of come over and done some coaching. And then I guess for me, my philosophy, I sort of almost like to, I believe in, like consistent training, keeping it simple, and just making it enjoyable as well. So yeah, just keeping it as simple as possible, just not overcomplicating it.
Yeah, sure, for sure. So yeah, I guess you were at Frontrunner. You've now founded Herdsman Harriers. Like, when did that spark light for you? And what's it been like since things have kicked off?
Yeah, so I guess I left Frontrunner in December and then started up at Herdsman Harriers. So yeah, I guess it's probably something that's been on the back of my mind for maybe like the last 12 months or something. I feel like I don't know, like the environment I was in was just not aligning with my values. So
sure,
rather than trying to change that environment, I think it was just better for me to, start up myself and start Herdsman Harriers and just, really put something into what I've had in the UK with Salford. So making sure, good, healthy culture, we're respectful to the running community as a whole. And then, just making an inclusive environment that everyone can enjoy to be in. And then obviously still concentrating on like helping performance for people.
Yeah, awesome. And you've got a fairly broad range of runners there. Like, how do you cater the training for those athletes who are at, some of them at very different levels?
Yeah, so I think that's always a good thing with coaching. That like for me, it's not, because I always get people asking me like, how many people can you coach? And for me, in terms of coaching people, it's always down to understanding the person and knowing them. So, first thing when I talk to people, it's just like, where do they want to be in a certain amount of time, their training history, how much training they can put in, like injuries and stuff like that. So everything's sort of like adjusted based on people's lifestyle and how much the body can handle.
So tell us about the makeup of your current group at the moment. So what are some of the runners that you do have in your group currently?
There's a lot, to be honest. You know, there's people that are running 16 minutes for 5k through to 25. People that are doing Margaret River. I had a crew doing Ballarat not long ago, so I've got like a good mixture of abilities. So which I kind of like. I'm not elitist in any way. It's like a word I don't like. So yeah, I've just got like it's just a good group of people who all sort of share the same passion and love for the sport.
Yeah, awesome. And so, yeah, you had a group of people, head over to Ballarat last weekend. How important is that to have, those kind of races, whether it's local or around the country, for the guys in your team to work towards and train and travel together for?
Yeah, I guess this is the thing we're running. It's like it's such an individual sport. It's only you who's out there and doing the race. So I think that's always the attraction for me with the clubs in the UK, just having that team. So I think what's been kind of nice with this, and I had the same at front runner. People are all training together, sharing the same goal. So yeah, it's kind of been like like almost like a proud father moment for me, just sort of seeing people sort of buying into the club and just like wanting to represent the best. So yeah, I just want to sort of like distance myself as much away from it all and just have people sort of like wanting to run for each other and just helping each other out as a team. But yeah, it's something I'm definitely keen to sort of like keep working towards in the future. So that whether that's some interstate races or overseas, and I know like guys have they've really enjoyed it, and yeah, it's been good.
Yeah,
awesome.
wicked. Yeah, I mean, like one of those people that you do coach is Ash Ritson, and we're big fans of Ash. Big win at Busso couple of months ago. Obviously, you're broad. Your net is cast wider than the Perth metro area. Obviously, you're coaching people abroad as well.
Yeah. She actually just messaged me just then to ask if I can coach more people in Bunbury. So okay with her.
Good timing. So like, I mean, I think we kind of touched on it before, but how do you balance your own running with all the coaching that you're doing?
I mean, so at the minute, obviously with the whole new setup, I started training with a group myself. So I'll do the Tuesday tempo with them. So I've got to make sure that they're more important than my running. So I'll fit everything around the group. So yeah, I've got to make sure that I'll put them first, and then I'll do my own training around that. Because throughout my whole running, I've always worked as a carpenter, so it's like 40 odd hours a week. So I've still managed to train, so I've never really any excuses on that front. So, but yeah, it's definitely changed a bit. Like I said, I'm not doing as much specific training as I would have for this race, just because I'm sort of like making sure that everything's going well within my group and catering for them.
Yeah, nice. I mean, when you were down at Lake Munga on those mornings, probably a couple of years ago now, Simon and I would be doing our laps around the lake, and every time we'd run past you, we'd make sure we had good form. So trying to make sure we impress. You're obviously running around Herdsman these days. Have you seen Simon on those Thursday mornings when he seems to be out there every now and then?
Yeah, I've seen him a few times actually on Snake Alley. So yeah, I've bumped into him a few times.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Nothing's changed really. I do. Well, no, actually, no, because now I don't know when he's there. Like at Munga, you know exactly where he was. But yeah. Now it's all over the place. But no.
But I'm around Herdsman all the time. I'll be in the bushes and for that part.
Correct form all the time, definitely.
Yeah. Very good, mate. All right. Well, yeah. Si, did you have any more questions? Otherwise, I think we'll get into Josh's training week. Eh?
No. Get straight into training week. So, Josh, obviously, did you say race this week?
Yes. Yeah, race this week, yeah.
So what, I suppose maybe give us the lowdown of what training has been like, perhaps in the last 2 weeks as you sort of in the lead up for this week.
Nothing like I said with this training at the minute. It's nothing glamorous. Like Monday, maybe a double day. Tuesday session, gym, another run in the evening. Wednesday run. Thursday double day, maybe gym, and then Friday. On a Friday, I've been doing my long runs. So getting out to the hills, and then trying to get some elevation in, just so then I can take like a Saturday session with the group, and then do I'll still do a long run on Sunday with the group as well. So we start from like Herdsman and do like the usual route. So yeah, I've only been doing one session a week. So yeah, I need to start pushing up a bit more.
Yeah, cool. Do you have a particular area of the hills you're getting out to when you're doing the runs on Fridays?
Yeah, I park at Lower Lesmurdie car park. So, I've got like a few routes from there that I've. So yeah, it starts from the same place, but you can sort of get out to different parts around that hills and get quite a lot of elevation in. So yeah, it's been kind of fun. Although, like, I went out a few weeks ago and I was like, I was a bit naive to the weather, and I was like, oh, it's going to be fine. And then I just bonked on a hill and like had to walk, and still like another like 2 hours of running left. So that was like a big life lesson.
That was just a warm day that you weren't anticipating?
Yeah, pretty much. And I just not took enough fuel in out with me. So yeah, I think, when I've got like a big ultra locked in, I'm always a bit more dialed in with nutrition and stuff. But I was like, oh, I'll be fine on this one, and slept in and went out later and then paid the price.
I've definitely made that mistake before.
So what is the game plan? So obviously training hasn't gone so well in the lead up for this race. So what is your game plan for this weekend?
Oh, honestly, I don't know. This is like,
yeah.
The thing is with races like this, it's so hard because it's just like, my legs aren't conditioned for it, and yeah, I've not done the course. So for me, it's just going out there and enjoying and just having a good race and just going to a different, different place I've never been, and just competing. So yeah, I'm almost like, it's like already now I'm just like anticipating how sore my legs are going to be for the next few days. Like, I just want to get through the race, and yeah, just have a good experience.
Awesome. What shoes are you wearing on the trails, by the way, Josh?
I think I've got some Tykines in it, some of the Giants, but in general, I just go for whatever's cheap. Just like I've no like preference for a certain type.
Yeah,
I know, like it's a bit different in the UK, or if you're racing Europe, it's a bit more like technical terrain, so the grip will matter. Whereas over here, it's just you can sort of get away with running road shoes. So yeah, I've just doing whatever's comfy, and that's good for me.
Nice, very good,
cool. All right, well, let's get into your training weeks, Chris. How's your week been?
Yeah, good. Don't really remember what I did this week. I ran 110 Ks or something like that for the week. I had the race yesterday, obviously, so went down to Rockingham and did put a 10K in. I only signed up for that race like on Tuesday, I think. I saw the weather conditions for Sunday and I thought, well, it's a good opportunity to put a time on the board because it's been such a long time since I've run a 10K. I think last March was the last time I ran one, and the time prior to that I DNF'd. So it was good to finally go and run a 10K. Had a couple of sessions. I think I did 10 by a K on Tuesday at kind of threshold, and then on Thursday with Matt I did kind of 5 by a K more at kind of that 10K effort. And then a couple of 1 minute reps at the end just to kind of spice it up a little bit. But yeah, pretty bland week. We did go to Kings Park on Wednesday this week, which we've been missing because Matt's been tentative about getting back out on the hills for a little bit. So we did go out and do that on Wednesday, which was nice to be back out there. But yeah, that was kind of my week. I did hit the gym twice this week, which I'm proud of. It's the first time I've done that in about 6 weeks. So yeah. It's good to be back in the gym, aka my carport.
Very good, mate. So obviously you didn't really taper for Sunday. So you said a couple of weeks ago, what did you sign up for? You've got like a half. You got 12K for HBF, and then you've got potentially a half at Bibro. Is that the plan?
Yeah, so I've got the 12K at HBF, which I'm not sure whether or not I'll taper for that yet. I don't really know, like, the purpose of all these races. Yeah, these races are just to keep things interesting and try and, I guess, race myself to fitness, I guess, because I feel like it's just something I haven't really done before, is raced a lot and frequently. So I thought it'd be a bit of fun to do that in the lead up to Transcend, but Yeah, not that running flat, fast courses is any use for Transcend, but no, I think I'll do HBF in 3 weeks' time. I'm pacing the Joondalup half marathon the week before.
Yep.
I think the following week is that Ellicott half marathon, so I think I might try and get down there somehow and do that, which would be cool.
Doesn't matter, you know that.
Well, we were going to go down there as a family and stay in Denmark.
Very good.
But I have an uncle that lives in Walpole, so if I might consider going down and staying with him for the night if we don't go down as a family. And then what's that? That's end of May, and then June. There's not a lot on. I think there is a King of the Mountain toward the end of June. So I'll do that, which is that 16K race with the Marathon Club out in the Helena Valley. So that'll give me a little bit of like trail race experience, which would be good. And because it's not a long race, I won't have to carry everything. Although maybe I should practice and bring it all. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But then I had signed up for Perth half, but I'm not going to do that. I will do Bibra half instead, and then after Bibra half, it'll just be focusing on trail until I get to Transcend. So I'll have a good 6 or 7 weeks of uninterrupted trail running, which will be good, leading up to Transcend, and then just keen to get out of that not injured. So
very good.
Yeah.
Josh, you did Transcend last year, did very well. Any tips for Chris as he prepares for the 65K for the first time?
I think is it the Peruna Valley? When you do that, like just take some tissue and you start crying going up the steps. Midlife crisis going up there, so yeah, prepare for that. I guess in terms of training, it's just conditioning your legs, obviously for the descending, and I always find with races on the uphill, it's you can not be climbing well, but you can walk, but it's just that downhill where you can sort of do the damage on your legs. So yeah, I think even if you're going through a ballpark, if you're going down any of the hills, sort of like run down them quick.
Yeah, get work on those quads and the adductors. Yeah,
I'll just try and I guess dial that in.
Yeah, for sure.
For training, Josh, did you do a lot of double long run sort of days, or was it more of a accumulation of mileage over the course of the week?
Yeah, I did. I think I did one. I might have done 1 or 2 weekends of double days. So I went out to the hills, maybe on a Friday or Saturday, and then I think I was doing a loop around Bull Park. It was like a 1 kilometre loop, but there was like quite a lot of elevation. So that 2 of them a day, and then 2 over a weekend, and then just getting in the time on feet.
Yeah, I think I've said before, like my approach, I probably won't get the ability to do the double days, unfortunately. So I'll probably be looking at a pretty long run on a Sunday, and then something in the middle of the week. Like I just have to break up my week and stretch out between my time between sessions and my long runs so that I don't end up cooking myself. But I would I would be doing like a 90 minute to 2 hour midweek run if I'm training for a marathon, and then I think I'll probably look at that but doing that like at Bold Park because it's the closest thing to trail in the CBD, I suppose. Because it's just about getting elevation, not necessarily about like the distance,
That's it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's me, mate. How about you? You had a decent week this week.
Yeah, I hit triple figures, which is good, but I feel like my sessions had been garbage this last week. I think I was feeling pretty good on Tuesday, so finished the move to the new place, and then headed over to Lake Gulala, which is now my local, I guess, route now, and did a VO2 sesh. So I think because I was also recovering from illness, just recovering from the plague basically. After Tuesday's sesh, I was feeling pretty cocky and fit and feeling much better. But then come Thursday, had a rubbish Thursday session, just running along Mounts Bay Road before work. And then Saturday was alternating Ks, and we were getting cleaners into the house, so I couldn't make it to the Team Tina session on the coast. So I did it along the Mitchell Freeway PSP, and kind of fucked it up. So I was sore, I was tired, and I bailed. I don't think I was halfway in, and I kind of just bailed on it. So, so I feel, even though I feel much better from a sickness point of view, I'm still feeling a little bit cooked, I think. Maybe the fatigue of just moving still. But yeah, with 2 weeks to go to June Love, I'm not feeling very confident heading into it. So it's a lightish week this coming week, but yeah, I don't know. This 78-minute half marathon bus is not looking very good, so I might have to message Max and reconsider how fast we go, really. But still another just short of 2 weeks to go to June Lump, so we'll see how we go.
Well, I mean, at the risk of stepping down from a lofty goal, would there be any value in going for 80 minutes, say, and which I think you could comfortably do?
Yeah, I'm thinking 80 minutes will be the way to go. I'll see how this week pans out. But yeah, I'm thinking at this stage it's probably an 80-minute half that I should be going for, or at least go out that pace, which I think is 3:45,
3:48
minute half. Yeah, 3:48. Oh, okay. Might go out there and then sort of dial it if I feel good, and if not, just stick with it. So still a way to go. It's not really a taper. It's probably dialed back just a touch, but still a pretty decent week this coming week. And then we'll see how we go. So I've got Joondalup, Pacing Ella at HBF the following week, and there's always Perth half later in the year as well. So we'll see how we go, but not as confident as I was a month ago. That's for sure.
I guess, you've probably been making too many discoveries of things that you didn't find in your house before you were moved in. Yeah.
There's just new shit I'm finding all the time at the moment. Just weird smells. The latest thing is weird smells. Like the laundry smells like piss, and I don't know why it currently smells like piss at the moment. So that's something for me to uncover later this week.
Very good. Awesome, mate.
All right, well, let's get into race results then. So we'll start things off with the Swan River half that was on Saturday. It's organised by Soul Runners, and under the helm of Charles and Tamala Bosvelt for a number of years now. I think they had over 1,000 runners on the Saturday. It was glorious weather over the weekend, so some quick times that we could see from the results. But we'll start with the 5K. In the women's race, we had Emily Murray coming first. She's racing everything and winning everything lately. She came first in a time of 20:27. Micah Chase coming second, and Isla Conkling coming third. In the men's race, Nick Moore came first in 19:32, followed by Samuel Retief, and I'm going to say David Retief coming third there. In the 10K race, we had Sharon Davis coming first in the women's race in 42:29, followed by Amy Crothers and Maddie Forey coming third. And in the men's race, we had Jan Bochart in 37 minutes, Rory Bosveld in 38:17, and Nick Bloomfield coming third. In the half marathon, we had Mike Lawson coming first in 1 hour 14:53, and I believe that's a course record. So congrats, Mike. Coming second was Cheng Run Lee in 1:17:04, and Chart Miller coming third in 1:18. And in the women's race, we had Anna Watts coming first in 1:31:26, Hannah Stuckey in 1:33:14, and Emma Brearley coming third in 1:37:15. Great run by Mike.
Yeah, absolutely blazing. I mean, I think Charles promised that there would be no difficult names to pronounce this week, and I think just about hit that on the head.
Yeah, no, I got nervous with Maddie's name, but no, that's all right. Very good. Let's move on to OMFG Trail Running Festival.
Yeah. Josh, did you have anyone out there running these events on the weekend?
No, I just had Rockingham 10K. I had a runner, Sydney half, and then I had a few people doing like busso, like various, like one doing the 50 and then the bike and run legs and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've even got busso results here, but it looked like a good time down there given the weather. So this OMFG Trail Running Festival supports On My Feet group, a charity supporting the homeless and at risk of homelessness through support and running programs to help them gain skills and knowledge to integrate back into society and employment opportunities. And 50% of all the revenue from this event went to that charity. So good on Ultra Series for putting it on. It was held out at John Forrest National Park on Sunday. So we got Ebony Regan first in the 7K, 32:23, followed by Katie Crawford and Elita Ronson. The men's was won by Harrison Black in 42:42, followed by Josh O'Neill and Aaron Eaton. The 10K was won by Georgie Smith in 47:43, followed by Annabelle Limmer and Sandra Sivior. And then the men's 10K was won by Riley Littlefair in 44:22, followed by Sean Samuelson and Harry Rosman. The 16K was won by infamous Petra Geragian in 1:20:42, followed by Anna Basico and Holly Timms. And Sam Shepherd won the men's 16K in 1:13:07, followed by as Simon calls him, Michael Edger, and then coming in third was Dan Corrin. The 25K women's was won by Claire Burley, 3:09:34. Second was Matilda Young, and then Ditswe Molife in third. And then finally, Faffing About coming first was Tony Faff, 2:32:36, followed by Milan Kucera, and then Shane Young coming third. That's us for the OMFG Trail Running Festival.
Yeah, when I saw third place, I knew instantly that I was going to give that race to you to read. Good job, mate. We had the Marathon Club's inaugural Rockingham Coastal Classic that replaces the Freo Harbour Master Classic from the past few years. Good turnout from the looks of things, and obviously great weather Sunday morning. I'll read through the results before you recap your own race, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So the 5K, Emily went back-to-back in the 5K. So she came first in the women's race in 2014. Jen Jones in 2049 coming second, and coming third is Evie Commons. In the men's race, we had Riley Kerr in 17:16. We got Lee Chang coming second in 18:20, and Benjamin King rounding up the podium in 18:28. We had 8 runners in the beach leg. So in the women's, we had Alice Mather coming first in 24:26, Jodie McGill coming second, and we had Alison Blackburn coming third to round up the beach leg podium. And then we only had 2 male runners. So we had John McShane coming first and Adam Barker coming second there. In the 10K, we had Jess Bird coming first again in another 10K in 37:47, coming third overall. We had Anna Watts also doing back-to-back races. So I think she did the half marathon on the Saturday in 1:31, and then she's backed it up with a 42:25 in the 10K. So well done to Anna. And we had Fiona Sutcliffe in third place in 43:28. In the men's race, we had Jack Crago, bit of a solo mission for him, running 33:17. We had Robbie O'Neill coming second in 37:27, and Zane Khan in 37:54. In the beach leg version, we had Chantel Thompson in the women's race coming first in 51:25. Coming second is Adana Fosda, and coming third was Alicia Molyneux. And then in the men's race, we had Gus Curry running 40:30. Mark Peterson coming second in 44.48, and Fraser Curtis coming third in 48.03. Chris, tell us about your race.
How was it? It was good. There was a bit of confusion at the start. Everybody was looking at each other, think, "Oh, is this the beach run?" Everyone thought it was happening at the same time because they started in the same place, but the beach one went down to the beach, and then you turn immediately onto the footpath if you're not. So they ended up starting the beach run 5 minutes earlier, and there was probably 30 or 40 runners altogether. Not a huge amount, but still some pretty quick times across the 10K from what I can see there. But then once they took off, Roger Cook was there, of course, announcing his involvement because I think he's the local member down that way, but he's now recently in the news for moving to West Perth to be closer to work and make it easier for him to do his job. But he's adamant that it's not about the freeway traffic.
Moving away from Rockingham.
or moving away from Rockingham. Hey, don't speak poorly of Rockingham. Kat Watt's listening, so she'll have some things to say to you if you say anything bad about
I'll head back there back in September, for that Secret Rocky Runners run. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was good. It was a perfect morning. I actually really enjoyed being down there kind of solo and then just going and doing my own warm-up and just chilling out. It was a beautiful morning. I bumped into Craig Berg there. So he was kind of standing next to me on the start line. I saw Jack Crago and another listener, Glenn Smith, had a chat to him just before we took off. And then, we're off. Kind of, always with these events, it's self-seeding. So you end up finding yourself, if you're not on the front, you're doing your best to get around everyone. I think Riley Kerr, the young fella in the 5K, I mean, the 5 and the 10 took off at the same time, so I must have seen him somewhere along there, but he was up ahead of me. Because there were so many people, I didn't really appreciate where I was in the race. and Jack was well far up the road, right? So I was probably at this point in time when I got to, there was a 2.5K point where you turned. There was a toilet block. You started to run on this nice wide path to start. Then it kind of narrowed to a typical coastal path, and then it opened up again onto a park, a bit similar to like how Joondalup Park Run is, where it kind of opens up into that park and you do the loop. But that was also the point where the beach runners merged with the road runners, and the 3 or 4 guys in front of me, there was a toilet block in the middle of this park. They all went right and turned around the toilet block, and I was like, and I could see the beach runners coming in up maybe 20 or 30 meters up ahead of me, like turning in. But in my head, I was like, well, this must be the turn. These guys have taken it. And so I followed. But then in my head, immediately after I turned around the block, I was like, I've gone too short on that corner. Like I should have gone all the way to the end. I was like, what if I'm not turning back now? Because that's fucked. But so I was like, all right, this is done. I'm just going to run as best I can with this 9.6 kilometer race I'm about to run. And then coming back towards the start line, there's a 5K turn, and there's a path that goes down toward the beach and a path that went around this tree. And this lady was screaming at me to go down the ramp, and I was like, that looks like it's going to the beach. But I did what I was told, and against my better judgment. So I've done the opposite thing on both ends. And I went down and I realized I was basically on the sand, and then I had to kind of turn back up off the ramp. And I could see that the people I'd overtaken in the last 2.5 kilometers were all like running ahead of me now because they were up the top. So then I kind of I overshot that turn by a similar distance to what I undershot the previous one. So then I think I was running beside Jess Bird for a bit, and Zane, the couple of the blokes that you finished second and third there. And then I was running with them, overtook them, and then I think the guy who came second, he overtook me at about 6 or 7 kilometers, and then it was at that point I realized, I'm not going to the toilet block this time. I'm going to go all the way to the end and then turn around. Meanwhile, I forgot to mention this is kind of like this section of the run's on grass. So like all up, there's probably about a K on grass. It's probably 2 kind of 500 meter segments on grass. which was unexpected, but it was fine. It was flat and not wet, overly wet, so it wasn't terrible. And then, kind of just ran to the finish from there. And the plan going in was to kind of start at about 3:45 and then hopefully work down into the 3:30s. Like, given I hadn't tapered, I just didn't have the legs. Like, I was just happy to hold on to 3:45. I did try to push a little bit in the last couple of K, but it is really busy, like when you've got people coming towards you on those narrow paths. So it was just easier to kind of hold pace and not try to go head on with anybody. But yeah, I mean, I ended up coming in when I crossed the line in 37:21, which unfortunately for Kane, who came second, he actually got told to keep going, like when he approached the finish line. So he went past the finish line, and then I was turning into the finish line and I saw him turning around, coming back toward me. So there was a bit of shit show going on with some of the marshalling, unfortunately. But so I, for all intents and purposes, was a DQ because I cut the course short. And but yeah, I unfortunately can't claim a 10K PB on this occasion, but it's a moral victory if you could call it that.
So it's a 5K course you do 2 laps of.
Yeah, correct. It's just double that.
And then there's like a beach, and is the beach legs like similar? There's like a 5K course loop that people are also doing 2 laps of.
Exactly. So you're basically doing exactly the same thing, except the beach. You're basically running parallel to each other, except one's running on the path and one's running on the beach. So the beach looked pretty easy to run on. To be fair, like it wasn't particularly soft looking, so they could have run quite quickly on the beach. And when I spoke to the race director after the race, he did say that it was, in his opinion, it was basically a one minute slower on the sand. And I was like, I don't reckon. But no, it's good. It's a good opportunity for people who are training for, say, Margaret River, like to have a bit of sand running, right? So
sure.
It's good to do something a little bit different. But I think the majority of people there were there to run the road version. Unfortunately, my result has come up under someone else's name. I'm not sure why that is the case, but regardless, it's a DQ. So I won't be claiming any unofficial course records.
No, not at all, Marcelo. I mean, if they were to do this race again, because I don't know if this is a one-off or a permanent fixture, do you think the 5K loop, along with the beach legs and all that and the chaos, could that just be avoided if they just made it one 10K loop, similar to what they do for Secret Rocky Run?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like a really long out and back, like a 5K out and back? Yeah. I'm not sure I don't know Rockingham well enough, so I don't know what the roads like or the paths like further up, whether or not you have to cross car parks. Well, you kind of do cut through car parks in this one, so I'm sure they could manage it. But it's not the same course that Secret Rocky runs on, for example. Like it is different. So it's kind of Rockingham foreshore proper rather than Port Kennedy. So what I actually observed is that if they ran it on the road, if they were managed to close the roads, because I mean it was a $45 entry, right? So like that's the Bridges is the same price, to run Bridges, is it not? The 10K, $45?
No, I remember paying more.
Oh, okay, maybe I'm mistaken.
Just a bit,
but still, like I think if they were to run it on the road, it would actually be probably the fastest 10K in the city because it's dead flat, it's wide, and you've got cafes and shit all up that strip. So you'd actually have kind of passive spectators, similar to how you get at Freo, without all the twists and turns. So I don't know, if it were me and it were my feedback, and if they were able to organise it with the council, I'd suggest that maybe you're doing a true road 10K or a 5K. With the 2.5K loop is fine because there's enough room on the road to, really kind of run quickly. So I don't know. But yeah, it's hard for me to say drop the beach leg because it seems like a novelty, right? But I appreciate that novelty appeals to some people, and there's not really much else like it besides doing those kind of surf life-saving championships that Tom Shenter did a few weeks back.
Yeah. Okay.
But you run those in budgie smugglers, not in road shoes.
Aerodynamic.
Exactly. No, it was good. Good event. I spoke to Jack briefly afterwards. He had those paddle pop Puma Nitro Fast R, whatever you call them.
Fast R3s, yeah.
Yeah. And then he looked very comfortable on his own up the front there. So
awesome.
It was good. Good event. I hope they do it again. It just there's probably a little bit of guidance for dummies like me would be good.
Very good. All right. Well, let's head into upcoming events, Chris.
Yeah. So Margaret River Ultra is this coming weekend. We got the 42K and the 80K there, which Josh won a couple of years back. We got David Newen's favourite run, the Mother's Day Classic, this Sunday, 5K and 10K options. The Wings for Life run that we spoke about last week's always on, or also on Sunday. And then your favourite run of the year, perhaps, Simon, Joondalup Running Festival is on the 17th of May. I'm not sure. I think the half marathon might be sold out there, if I'm not mistaken. But there might be 5 and 10K tickets available. I think Jack Crago is running that half marathon, actually, so that'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Up against Tommy Tej. I think Tommy Tej is also running Joondalup as well. So it'll be interesting up front.
Yeah, Tommy won it a couple of years ago, or 2 or 3 years ago now, so I'm sure he'll be keen to... and Carlos isn't running, so he knows that Carlos isn't going to try and dog him in the last couple of Ks. Yeah. There's the Herdies Backyard Ultra, or the Backwards Herdies, although there was a fire on at Herdies today, I think. Not sure how that's going to impact that. That's on the 22nd of May. HBF Run for Reasons on the 24th, but more or less everything except the 3K is sold out there. And that's for children. There's Elica Running Festival on the 31st of May, half marathon, 10K and 5K options. Joel Gray did message me and say to keep this event quiet because he wants to win it, but I think he's already found someone who's quicker than him, so he might be settling for second unless somebody else shows up. And that's everything we've got for the next month. I suppose going beyond that, we've got a whole bunch, but it's too numerous and too timely to add to the end of this podcast.
Yeah. Josh, with Margaret River Ultra this weekend, any tips for those, heading down this weekend to run it? So is there any prickly bits of the course or things to watch out for those taking part?
Probably just look where you're going and don't miss turns and get lost. That's probably
What was the checkpoint that you missed? Whereabouts was that?
I actually ran more sun than I was meant to. I think I was running along. Yeah, I was running along the beach and I was meant to go up some steps and I missed them, and then I realised and I was climbing up everywhere, and it happened more time. Bit of a nightmare. Yeah, just look where you're going and hope for the best.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no Sounds course marshals on the course of Margaret River.
And I think even someone had turned around because they just had an arrow on a cone and turned it around to point the opposite way, and I ran down, and then after 300 meters realised it wasn't the right way.
Oh, fuck.
Bit of a nightmare.
That's a pain.
Absolute pain.
Sabotage.
All right. So put the course on your watch.
Correct. That's the one.
Yes. Yeah, very good. All right, we'll move on to Simon Says. So we had a competition for HBF Run for a Reason with 3 entries to give away. All we had to do was send us a voice note or a video on Instagram telling us why you run. So thanks to those that have submitted an entry. So for tonight, we've awarded one of the entries to Lloyd Reidy, who submitted a voice memo. And we also saw over the weekend posting a couple of posts across many different running group Facebook pages and the like about getting a ticket to HBF half. But yeah, Lloyd was also kind enough to submit a voice memo, and we're just going to play it just now. And this is his reason to run.
Hi, my name's Lloyd. I pushed my 11-year-old son, Walt, with cerebral palsy in long-distance running events in a customised pushchair. Walt doesn't get to do normal Saturday, Sunday morning sports with his mates, so he gets me, or uses my legs as his engine to compete in half marathons, which is great for the both of us. Quite simply, Walt's run, or his role for a reason, is that he loves inspiring other athletes on course, whether we overtake them or whether they overtake us. He genuinely gives off some great vibes to other athletes, and he loves encouraging people to complete or to achieve their goals, whether they be small or big in life. Go Walt!
That was Lloyd. And we'll be giving one of the entries to Lloyd and Walt. So we'll reach out to them later this week. And we'll announce the other two in next week's app with Vici back. So that's our Run for a Reason competition. So thanks to those again who submitted a submission. We'll announce the other two next week. All right. Let's cap the episode off with Weapons of Warp, Chris.
Yeah, well, Astrid Roberts did some Astrid Roberts things this weekend, and at 51 years of age, she runs a 36:38 10K at the Masters Athletics run over the weekend, which is a PB for her. Remarkable run by a remarkable woman. I mean, she's been putting down some incredible stuff recently in the half and the 10. So good to see Astrid's running well and showing everyone else how it's done. I did catch another video of another child running a distance that they shouldn't be allowed to run, and that was a half marathon on behalf of an 11-year-old on Instagram this week with a US ATF singlet on, funnily enough. So I don't know if this is kind of supported by the US athletics track and field, but I'm not sure that's okay. Do you think that's okay, Simon?
I don't know, because the 11-year-old kid's running faster than me, so I'm going to say no. So fuck him. Josh, what do you reckon? 11-year-old running half marathons and running 80-minute half marathons.
I mean, when I did Transcend, when I saw you running, I actually thought it was a kids' race going on. Then I was like, why did the kid run this ultra? So yeah, I think, like side exercising, I think it's great.
That's true. Yeah, I'm caught in two minds with it, right? Maybe half marathons are okay. I think when it's like marathon and
I mean, if you're running them for 80 minutes, you're doing it pretty quick, right? You're only on your feet for 80 minutes.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm sure John Pence has something to say about it.
Yeah, probably. All right, well, that's it for Weapons of War this week. Josh, thanks for joining us, mate. All the best for this weekend. What's next for you? Like in terms of Herdsman Harriers, like what are you hoping to achieve? Over the next 6 months with the group.
Just continue growing it the way it's growing. It's been now like 5 months, and I don't know, it just feels like it's been going for years. So if I can just sort of replicate what I had in the UK with Salford, then that's going to be good for me. So yeah, I've no plans on how big I want to grow it, but yeah, I just want to sort of organically grow it the way it's growing, and like I said, just create a good culture. And I feel, I don't know, like for me now in Perth, I think it's in such a good place with how many groups there are. When I moved here, I think there was just me front runner, and then I guess obviously Team Tina, and but obviously now you've got double Rams, Ogging squad, and it's just offering another service for people, and whether my group fits them or another group, I think just having that different bit of choice is good for people. So yeah.
Beautiful. Excellent. Well, all the best for the group, all the best for your run this weekend, and we'll be in touch soon.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Chris, pleasure as always. Catch you next week. And for everyone else, you can reach out to us at WA Running Pod on Instagram. Our email is warunningpodcast@gmail.com. Our Strava group is Warp. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week on the WA Running Podcast. See you.